riverbank lay silent beneath the blazing sun. No wind moved the reeds. No ripples disturbed the dark, glass-like surface of the water. It looked calm, empty, harmless. But beneath that stillness, power waited. Pressed into the mud at the edge of the river lay a massive body, motionless, ancient, almost invisible against the earth. Only two cold eyes and the ridge of a rough spine revealed its presence. A Nile crocodile. Over 400 kilograms of muscle and bone, designed not for speed, not for long chases, but for one decisive moment. It did not hunt today. It guarded. Beneath the warm sand behind it rested a cluster of fragile white eggs, a future generation. Years of instinct, patience, and survival compressed into a single, vulnerable point. For a creature that ruled the water with absolute dominance, this was its only weakness. It could not move the eggs. It could not leave them. It could only stay and wait. During this season, the crocodile was no longer just a predator. It was a sentinel. Its strength was now tied to a single location on land, where every movement was slower, every turn heavier, every mistake potentially catastrophic. It did not seek battle. It only defended a boundary invisible to all, but deadly to those who crossed it. The air stayed still. The sand stayed quiet. Then, a faint rustle. A small shape emerged from the bushes, low to the ground, fur bristling, eyes sharp with curiosity and calculation. A honey badger. Not large, not powerful, but fearless in a way few creatures in the wild could understand. It did not rush forward blindly. It moved in short bursts. Step, pause, observe. A low growl vibrated from its chest as it circled cautiously, constantly testing the crocodile's reactions. Each movement was deliberate, each pause a question. The crocodile remained still. Then, the honey badger crossed the invisible boundary. The riverbank exploded. With terrifying speed, the massive reptile lunged forward, jaws slamming shut with crushing force. Sand and dust sprayed into the air, but the honey badger twisted aside at the last instant, narrowly avoiding the deadly bite. It didn't run away completely. It only retreated a few steps, then returned again. Again and again, the pattern repeated. Lunge, dodge, pause, return. The difference between them became clear. The crocodile possessed overwhelming strength, but its enormous body needed time to change direction on dry land. Every burst of power required a heavy turn to reset. The honey badger, however, thrived on constant movement. It didn't challenge force head-on. It disrupted rhythm. Each time the crocodile struck and missed, a brief gap opened, a fleeting blind spot lasting less than a second. For most animals, that instant would be meaningless. For the honey badger, it was everything. This was not a fight to defeat the crocodile. The smaller creature understood the imbalance perfectly. It could never overpower such a giant, but it didn't need to. It only needed one successful moment. The crocodile lunged again, jaws slamming down with a violent snap. The honey badger veered aside, claws digging into the sand as it darted forward and back in quick, unpredictable bursts. Tension filled the air like a stretched wire ready to snap. For a second, both froze. The crocodile could chase. It could abandon the nest and attempt to crush the thief for once and for all. Its power was more than enough to end the confrontation permanently. But instinct intervened. Chasing now would leave the remaining eggs exposed. One egg lost was damage. Losing them all would mean losing an entire generation. The calculation was instant and absolute. The crocodile stopped. Slowly, deliberately, it turned back toward the nest and settled once again into its guarding position. No roar, no reckless pursuit,
only stillness returning, like closing a door. The honey badger, prize secured, retreated toward the bushes. It did not celebrate. It did not challenge further. It simply disappeared into the vegetation, where it would eat in safety. The confrontation ended not with bloodshed, but with a decision. To an observer, it might seem like the crocodile lost. A tiny mammal had stolen from a giant predator and escaped unharmed. But in the deeper logic of survival, the outcome was different. The crocodile had protected the majority of its future. The honey badger had secured a valuable meal. Both followed the instincts carved into them by evolution. Both understood their limits. Both made the choice that maximized survival. As the sun dipped lower, the riverbank returned to silence. The sand hid the remaining eggs. The water became still once more, reflecting the sky like a dark mirror. The crocodile lay motionless again, a living fortress bound to its duty. Somewhere in the bushes, the honey badger finished its meal, already searching for the next opportunity. In the wild, victory is not always loud. Sometimes it is a quiet decision made in a single moment. Absolute power held its ground. Absolute fearlessness seized its chance. And the river kept flowing, indifferent to both.